Havasu City After School Program kids. I'm back again, just like I promised, to do another craft with you today. So before I start, I just want to make sure, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope that there's not been any hardships on your family. And anyways, I know here at the Aquatic Center, things are quiet. But we've been able to do a lot of fun things. I know Miss Donna and her sidekick Dutch have been doing some cooking here in the kitchen, and it sure smells good. So hopefully you'll see those videos online soon. So today's craft is going to be a puppy puppet. These are also called marionettes. That's a big word, so I like to just say puppy puppet on a popsicle stick. Can you say that 5 times fast? So anyways, I've already finished this little guy, and I'm gonna call him Pete. So what I'm gonna do is, first I'm gonna tell you what you're going to need. Come over here and sit down, Pete. Thanks. You're gonna need, of course, paper towel or toilet paper rolls. Now, we should all have a lot of those. So you can use paper towel and cut them down, or you can go ahead and just use the toilet paper rolls. And I'll explain what we're going to do with those. You're going to need some popsicle sticks. So it might be good to eat those popsicles now if you don't have any laying around, but make sure you ask if it's okay. I have some big ones that we've pre-bought here, okay? But they don't have to be the big ones, they can be the small ones as well. You're going to need some glue or tape. You're gonna need some scissors, some yarn or string, and markers. If you have a hole punch, that would be great. If not, you're gonna have to ask someone to help you with some scissors to poke the holes. Or you can even use like a pen or a pencil to push through the cardboard, but we'll talk about that when we get there, okay? Like any of my projects, I always ask you to make sure that it's okay first with your parents to use these items and to do the craft. Sometimes we can ask an older brother or sister to help us, or mom and dad, or grandma, or an auntie, who's ever in the household, if you can't do all the things today on your own. Also, I do want to tell you, if you don't have some of these items and you need them, and your parents are willing to make the trip down here to the Aquatic Center, if your parent emails me at brownj@lhcaz.gov, I'd be happy to furnish them with any of the items that you may need to complete this project. Okay, so once you know all of the items and you've gathered them all up, to start, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're going to cut all of our pieces first. So as you can see on Pete here, he has kind of a short head. So if you have a toilet paper roll, you're just going to go ahead and cut one right in half. Okay, so there's Pete's head. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make his ears with the other half, okay? Now there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can cut out an 8, a figure 8 in the cardboard, but I think the easier way is to cut it in half, and you're gonna go ahead and cut a little heart top, just a little in and out on that one, and a little in and out, and then we're gonna open it up, clip it in, and we're gonna round the ears. Now his ears don't have to be perfect, okay? And what we're gonna do is when we put them on, we'll roll them, we'll either close them up one way or another, okay? So once you have your ears cut out, the other thing you can do is you can just cut this in half and cut 2 separate ears. And you're gonna cut them kind of like an oval, the shape of like, do you see this? All right, and you can cut 2. And remember, they don't have to be perfect. No craft has to be perfect because it comes from you and that's how you chose to do it. Plus, I don't think there's many puppies that have perfect ears either. Okay, so see these 2 little, they look like little petals. So we can use those too. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put our holes in the body of Pete. And so we can have the string go through so we can hang them. Now, as I told you, this might be something you might need to ask for help. If you have a hole punch, let me show you what you're gonna do. You're gonna put 1 hole here, see? 1 hole here, and then on the other side, directly on the bottom, you're gonna put 2 on each end. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So now you can see that's where the string's gonna go through to hang him, and then this is where his legs are gonna go. So we're gonna put that aside. You only need, on the pup's head, 1 at the top, and 1 slightly in at the bottom. So now we only have 2 holes there, okay? And that's all our hole punching. Like I said, if you don't have a hole punch, you can get someone to cut the holes for you. You might be able to use just a pin and poke some through, or maybe a screwdriver or something where you're just gonna poke it very slowly and just need to poke a hole, okay? But ask for help, okay? Because that might be kind of hard for some of you. Okay, so now we have all our pieces together here. So we're gonna start with the legs. One of the items I forgot to tell you about that we need for Pete's legs are 4 little bendy straws. You know the kind of straws that have the tops where they can bend? We need 4 of those. And if you don't have bendy straws, then you don't have to, that's okay as well. You can just use regular straws. So for today, I'm just gonna use regular straws just in case you don't have any. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna snip the bottom of 4 straws. So you want them to be all the same length. And you want them about, let's say 1.5 inches long. I didn't measure, okay? So here's the straws. So then you're gonna take a piece of string or yarn, which is what I have, and you might need some help with this too. You're gonna need to tie a knot in the bottom of the first end. Then we're gonna cut off a piece, and he can have real long legs, it just depends. And we're gonna put it through. See, I went in 1 hole, and now I'm going out the other. This will be his front legs. You see, just like that, okay? So we have a knot in the bottom, and before you thread that through, you're gonna put your first straw on, and you just push the yarn or the string through, and then there's the knot. Now we're gonna thread it through. In 1 hole, and out the other. Okay, so can you see what I did here? Okay. Now we're going to put the other straw on, and we're going to thread it through the straw. And sometimes you have to recut the end because it might have gotten weakened. And we're going to tie a knot at the end. And there you go. So now we have 2 legs on your pup, okay? Like I said, I didn't use the bendy straws because maybe you don't have those, but it still looks like his legs, okay? Okay, so we put the other legs on as well, just the same as the front. Remember, tie your knot on one side, put your straw on, thread in, thread out, put your straw on, and knot again, okay? And if your legs aren't even, that's okay. All right, so we have all 4 legs on now. The next thing we're gonna do is we're going to attach the head to the body, okay? And what we need for that is a longer piece of string or yarn. And this is when your tape's gonna come in handy, okay? Your Scotch tape, masking tape, whatever you have. If you have duct tape, that's okay too. Okay, so like I said, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the head to the body and then to our popsicle sticks. So you're gonna start with about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet of yarn, okay? Or string, okay? You're gonna take the one end and you're gonna put it through the head, the top hole, and then you're gonna put it through the bottom hole. So it's going all the way through his head. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your front hole and you're gonna put it in. Now here's where it might get a little tricky. You've got to get that string all the way through so it comes out his back end right here. Pull it through. So, as you can see, now we have the head and the body attached. Okay, so we have the head attached to the body. We're gonna set him aside for a minute because we next need to do is put our 2 popsicle sticks together, okay? So you're gonna make an X with your popsicle sticks and you're gonna set them down. You're gonna take about, 1-foot long piece of string and you're gonna put them underneath the X in the center and you're going to tie them together. Just like that. So see how we just have it just loosely tied right there. Then we're gonna bring it around and go up the other side. And I'll show you so you can see. Let me get it tied, because this part's a little tough. So now we have it tied in the center, so it's like a big X. And then take it around the back, and you can tie your knot so that it's together. You may have to ask somebody to help you with this as well. Remember, this is a tough project. So if you're doing this by yourself, you're doing a really good job. But don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? So now we have our X, and we're going to attach Pete, our puppy, to each end. You're only going to attach it to the end of one of the popsicle sticks. So you're gonna put one string on this end, one string on this end. It needs to be this way, okay? So we're gonna take it and we're gonna wrap it around and around. And then we're gonna put a piece of tape around it so that it's attached. You can also tie a knot. I'm just doing it quickly like this with a piece of tape. Okay, so there's the first end attached. You're going to do the same thing with the other end. Now at this point, we want to make sure that the lengths are about the same. So if you have to let it down a little bit, you want them to be even. So this one is a little bit shorter, so I won't be able to tie a knot. That's where our tape comes in. We're going to just put a little piece of tape around it to make sure that it's attached. Okay, so there we go. Everything's attached. Okay, so next, now that we have the body all attached and the head, we're going to put his ears on. Now you can use either the little petal cutout ears like this, or as I told you earlier, a little figure 8, and we can bend them. I'm gonna go ahead and use the petal ears, and all you have to do is you're gonna attach them to the top of his head. Now don't worry about which direction they're going because you can bend them. Mine are going up right now. And we're just gonna put a little piece of tape up there. Now remember, you can color his ears first, you can do whatever. You can color his whole body if you want to before you even start putting this together. I like just the plain old puppy, okay? So now I've taped his ears on and we give him a little bend. You can make them both up like that. You can make one that bends like that. So we're gonna leave one way because you know puppies always kind of have funny ears, okay? So now we have his ears on. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some of our leftover pieces over here where we had cut up together and we're gonna make him a tongue. Again, another kind of petal shaped piece. And you can make it as long or as short as you like. Mine is going to be short. And if you want to, you can take a little red marker or pink and give it a little color. Kind of makes it fun. Just remember that if you're using marker, you have something underneath you so you don't get it all over Mom's table. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. So now we have a little red tongue. And I'm going to take the tongue, make sure I put it on the front. I'm going to have the pink facing up. And I'm going to take another little piece of tape. I'm going to stick it on the end of the tongue, just like this. And I'm going to set it inside, just barely, so that it can hang out. And we'll even give it a little curl at the end, okay? So there's his tongue. So at this point, all you're doing is adding the accessories. Now, if you have some googly eyes, you can use those. You can also just put some eyes on with a marker. So all you would do is just put them right up here. You draw some little circle eyes and color them in. Okay? You can put a nose on. You can either use a little pom-pom, a little puffball, or you can just maybe mush up a piece of string or yarn and attach that to the front, or you can just draw one, okay? So you can just put a little nose here on the end, just like I did his eyes. Color it in. Okay, so there we have nose. It's your puppy, you can do whatever you want to do with it, but here we have it. You could also put a little tail on with some of the leftover pieces. You can draw spots on him. You can do whatever you want. He's your puppy, and you can create him, you can add, you can not do everything. If you don't have any of the items, you can make do with something else. Maybe you'll come up with a better idea than what I used. So let me just remind you, as I said at the beginning of the video, if you don't have any of these items and you really want to make this project, please email Miss Janice at brownj@lhcaz.gov and I'd be happy to put together a little baggie of supplies for you to use, okay? Anyways, we're going to be doing another project again next week. I hope to see you then. Until then, have a safe week, be good, keep smiling, and keep spreading the love. Bye from Miss Janice.